Welcome to the locker room. We are nursing our Clásico hangovers today and talking it out after a dramatic night at the Camp Nou. Coming up, we'll look back on the key moments in the game, the good and the bad. The Serie A title fight is no longer a fight, it's more of a swing and a miss from Napoli. And we predict who's going to miss out on Champions League football next season across the leagues, but mainly in the Serie A. And it's a good job because we've got Matteo Bonetti on the panel.
Nice to be able to drag the average age down of the table a little bit.
Most appreciated.
What type of little things are?
3 silver foxes. Come on.
Capisco.
That's a yellow card for you. All right. With nothing much at stake, the most recent edition of El Clásico, it had been described as decaffeinated. Instead, it was a quadruple espresso with a shot of rocket fuel. Now, before we get into the most controversial moments, let's get to your star men. And this question was inspired, Ray Hudson, by a tweet from you this morning, where you said you can't believe more wasn't being made with Messi's face after Navas pulled off another incredible save on him.
Absolutely, Kate. You never see Lionel Messi react like this. He's not one for that sort of drama. But when he got denied this wonderful strike on goal by Keylor Navas, who I said at the time, 95% of goalkeepers will be leaning to one side. He had the inside covered, but he stared him down, and Messi pummeled this, and the angle of it was perfect, and it would have been one of Leo's great goals. But Keylor was absolutely magnificent. Right. For me, he was a big difference. There was a lot of difference makers, Gary, but Keylor Navas, everybody knows how much I love him. Vastly underrated. His speed, his quickness off the line, it's perfect for Real Madrid. I think if they get a bigger goalkeeper with a bigger name, when I say bigger, I mean athletically as well, Thomas. I don't know that they'll cover as many mistakes as the way Keylor Navas does for Real Madrid.
He fits them perfectly because most of the top goalkeepers in the world, in fact, all of them play behind good defences. So they don't have a hell of a lot to do, and they're very good at concentrating and doing the one thing. He's playing behind a defence which actually leaks a hell of a lot. So he's diving, he's brave. As you say, he's extremely quick. He's got great reflexes. He's incredibly brave, and to beat him like that shows you how good Messi is.
See that last save there? That's, for me, that's not what Keylor Navas is all about either. It's in other circumstances where they are in, whoever they're playing, the other team is in, and he has to close down on these players, and he does it with electric pace,
and
Thomas.
Bravery.
He's unique as well. We talked about size, obviously, versus Ter Stegen and some of the bigger goalkeepers, but this guy is just unbelievable. 2014 World Cup, Costa Rica.
Who's yours?
Benzema. The most important thing for Mr. Zidane was for the continuation of Benzema to be involved in his game. Like he had 2 goals against Bayern, so important. Look at Kroos, and then him fading far post. He can go for glory, but you know what? He is rewarding, again, Ronaldo. And Ronaldo rewards him by saying, you know what? This guy needs to start. The run he makes right here to take Umtiti away, create space for Bale to get into. Brilliant performance last week, and even better performance. That is picture perfect for Liverpool, Mr. Benzema.
I knew you wanted to make a quick comment, actually, on Gareth Bale.
I'm going to go with Gareth Bale as my star. Not just the goal, his movement, his defending, and also the fact that in the Spanish media, he has been getting destroyed. People saying his heart's not in it, his mind's not in it. There's been a fallout between him and Zinedine Zidane. He's not going to be at Real Madrid next season. Well, he played in the biggest game for Real Madrid, or one of the two biggest games, always El Clásico, and he showed up. He was one of the best performers for Real Madrid. And when I see a game like this, Thomas, I want to see Bale staying at Real Madrid. He gives them a gear that they don't have without him.
The BBC will start against Liverpool.
Could be. Now, can I give you the other one? Because as you said, you can pick a whole number there. For me, Suarez.
Okay.
Fantastic first goal, which gets you up and running. Then he's in the face of Ramos. Now, Barca aren't a fighting team, but he's the one player who will drag Barca into a dogfight. And then he wins the ball, and he does kick Varane, doesn't he? But he sets up Messi for the second. So for me, he gets Barca that point there by scoring one, making one, and being aggressive and countering Real's aggression.
Can I just give one more, Kate?
One more.
No, but I've got to mention this because for me, he had an unbelievably good game, and I bet you I could ask each one of you, and I don't think you'd pick him out. But Blondie Rakitic, for me, had an absolutely stormer of a game. When you look at that game again, I went back and watched it. He was fantastic. So put
all
in there
season,
the Croatian.
highly dependable Rakitic. Now, from superstars to VARs, there's been much talk about how video review would have impacted this game because it really was a feisty affair. Let's take a look at some of its uglier moments. It all started here between Ramos and Suarez. This is the 43rd minute, and it looks as though there's a bit of handbags at the beginning of the game between them. We're going to bring up those images when we can, but that's where it all seemed to kick off, Ray, didn't it?
Yeah, it certainly did. This was the blue touch paper that started to lead to the animosity between them, and then it just started to get it. And then this one was followed up soon after as these two were going at it. And there's the challenge right here where you'll see this one going on. And there's a little bit of afters afterwards. But then after this one, Messi comes in and gets Ramos, and that's the first sign of retribution because retaliation. Absolutely. He went in, and that should have been an absolute... Well, it could have been a red card.
If that was another player, it would have been a red. Because it's Messi, it's not a red.
Right.
Because you don't expect it from him. The referee's not used. If that was any other player...
I think if it was any other player other than Suarez that Sergio Ramos hit, Leo doesn't react, but man, that's throwing gasoline on the fire because Messi came back and you saw that look in his eye and he responded.
Let's comment on this move.
If that's Sergio Ramos, if that's Luis Suarez, players that bite, that have literally bite and are aggressive, that's a red card in my book.
All right.
He was going in with the studs. If he catches him on the ankle and he causes a serious injury, then it's a...
So if
I think it was a pure red. I agree with Gary. I don't think it was a pure red, Kay, but it was definitely... There was a broken bottle that we never saw that Messi produced, and that's the type of game it was. This game meant something to these boys.
Thomas, should Bale have seen a red card?
Absolutely. The three biggest calls in this game, all right, which is obviously Bale, that should have been a red card. 2, it's obviously Suarez kicking Varane. And 3, no penalty on Marcelo?
But no,
I mean,
we're getting there later. Should
Are
Bale
we
have
getting
seen
there?
the red card?
Absolutely. Go in order, TR. No, I got you, Bruno. That's a red card, absolutely.
It's an absolute red card, and that changes the whole match, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because next, minutes later, it's Sergi, but does Sergi get sent off if Bell's already been sent off?
See, from that first angle, from upstairs, it looked even worse than the close-up ones, actually, because that's premeditated. And it's...
But he didn't even get a yellow. That's what confuses me. If they gave him a yellow and they just misread it, they didn't even give him a card. How does a blatant red not even get any card
Well, we
at all?
do see a red card here. Sergio Roberto, just before the half-time whistle.
Silly
That's
boy.
the clearest one.
Yeah.
Anytime you raise that, you made a punching motion. But we're all sitting here debating something because there is no VAR. We'd have 2 different Champions League finalists, I think, if there was VAR in that competition. Who knows what nation should have won in the World Cup because there won't be VAR. This changes everything.
If we had VAR, like Valverde said, they'd still be playing. I mean, I think he made light of it, but it says...
Why is that? Hold on a second. But with VAR, the players know they can't get away with that because every single thing is looked at. In Italy, let me tell you in Serie A, the average time for VAR is 45 seconds. Now, if fans can't wait 45 seconds to get the right call, to get the right decision, there's too much at stake now. There's too much money.
It was 2:35 early in the year. It's 1:15 right now. So if you take 2:35 times 10, as Ray said, you're playing under half an hour. Good luck.
All right, well, let's take a look, because as we know, if you did have a video assistant referee, you'd be able to go back and look at where a move began. And when it comes to Messi's goal, there was a lot of talk about a foul from Suarez on Varane in the build-up to
But
it.
Kate, it's a definite foul. It's not
Clear.
It's not like you can miss this.
not debatable.
This is what gets me about some of these decisions. If they're 50-50 or they're iffy, maybe. I mean, it's still a great finish, mind you. But have a look here. Suarez kicks his other foot. The other foot suddenly
There's no
disappeared.
debate now.
Exactly. But if the ref doesn't get it, why doesn't the assistant ref get it? I mean, there's 3 officials
You know,
there.
in this world that we're living in, I just want to make a quick point. I said during lifetime in this game that was a clear, nailed-on penalty.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't believe the amount of Barcelona fans that reacted and saying that was no way a penalty, a free kick.
Yeah.
And there was no way. And I think, like, God, I mean, there's bias, but how can you not see that? I mean, I
they're
love
fans,
teams,
Ray. They're in the middle
but
of it.
Gary,
They're
I understand.
emotional.
That's my whole
They're
point.
not being.
I understand that.
Not seeing
but
reality.
when we see it like that, and they're seeing the same images.
But ask the same people today, and they'll probably say, you know what? Now that I've calmed
I'm
down,
not so sure.
I get it.
Crazy. What a game, though. Oh, what a game. Can we talk about it for another half hour now?
We can talk a little bit more. Where can we go next, Mr. Producer?
It was such a herky-jerky type
Suarez.
of game.
Suarez, did he have a perfectly good goal?
Oh, you
pulled
had
off?
an opinion on this, didn't you? Rakitic offside?
Yeah,
or not?
Rakitic is 100% offsides,
Yeah.
exactly. If you can score with your shoulder, which you can, and your shoulder is offsides, which in a still picture it shows it's offside, so that's not a good goal by Suarez. You could take that one back.
Oh, close.
All right.
Very close.
One of the most
Very close.
contentious moments still to come. Was it a penalty on Marcelo? This has been talked about
Clear.
very much afterwards.
Absolutely clear as the nose on Barbara Streisand's face.
can't say that.
one is absolutely is another one. How can they miss that? I mean, for me, the only possible debate that you could talk about is that maybe Marcelo's seeing the challenge coming and he goes down a split second ahead of the contact, but I don't think he does. I think it's a clear pen.
Or if it's not, it's a hell of a dive. But it's one or the other. Either you have to go, Marcelo, that's a dive, yellow card, or it's a penalty.
You can
because it's
see the
so
entire
blatant.
thigh reverberating, every muscle reverberating like a wave from the contact. This is a ridiculous non-call. VAR is going to solve all of this. It's going to solve everything, Gary. Everything. That's the answer.
Are we going to be able to talk something in flipping VAR? Are we going to be able to talk about the game and the wonderful nature of this game?
and how
Can
it
we do
always
that?
delivers,
Because-
even when there's
You know what?
nothing at
Exactly.
stake.
You know
Thank
what,
you,
you're
Kay
right.
Murray.
We'd have a show on a Monday where we'd be talking about the weather. Because you got all the decisions right. What are we talking about?
No, but it
tremendous.
was a brilliant game still.
Yeah, it
2-2 it finished. That would have been my MVP. The game itself,
Thank
the
you,
best
Kay.
clash in world football, El Clásico.
Was there just one other thing? Was there not a lot of complaints about Messi having a go at the referee at half-time from Real Madrid?
Yeah,
They say he
and everything.
influenced the referee.
Yeah.
But aren't you allowed to do that? Aren't you allowed to talk to the referee?
Sure.
And if you swear at him, he'll book you. So,
Sure.
so why is Real Madrid
And
making a
there
big
was
to-do
other
about that?
Tactical decisions as well. I thought Valverde got it right as well by putting in Paulinho, that altered thing, so he learned from the Roma game in many ways. And, you know, the final, the shot from Gareth was absolutely
brilliant,
magnificent.
brilliant.
As I said, Kay, this wasn't a decaffeinated, as you said. What was it?
I said it was a quadruple espresso with a shot of rocket fuel.
Absolutely was. And everything it
And
made.
Barca,
Tremendous.
the Invincibles, which they might go, the
Yes.
3 games left, are still the best team in Spain. Let's be really honest.
Have we got an
Best
agreement
team
from that side
in
of the table?
Spain.
Criticise Barcelona.
Barcelona
We're not
the best
talking
team in
about
Spain.
play
If they
philosophy.
play football like they did against Real Madrid, and I thought Real Madrid played the better football over the 90 minutes as well. But
Especially with 10
you know, when you
players.
talk to the Arsenal lads who got the unbeatable season in 2004, they said that they didn't realise how vital it was, how important it was, till many years later. And now they realise it was something
Great
ultra special.
achievement.
Forget about the way they're playing. Like Gary and Thomas have said, it's something to stand for.
There's a
and be
question
very
if
proud
Real
of.
Madrid wins yet another Champions League, that it would maybe put a damper on this season for
diminish
Barcelona.
it.
In Barcelona, forever, everyone's always going to be referring to the Invincible season. So even though it might feel sour for Barcelona fans because Real Madrid might win the Champions League, which obviously is worth more, this is going to be referred to in
Nothing you
history
can do-
forever.
I agree
forever.
with you.
Just like
you know what? There's
Arsenal
nothing
is.
you can do. What the other teams do is up to the other teams. As Barca, you can do this. You can win at the Invincibles. You celebrate. And then you wait and see what happens with Real Madrid. It's still, I agree with you, a magnificent
And, you know, the
season
beauty of
for
it is
Barcelona.
that we wouldn't have had all of this pyrotechnics going off if Real Madrid had given them the God honour. I think that's where a lot of that stuff started from. And that's where the nastiest, and what Gary said, the needle came out.
Football Crazy podcast also talks about El Clásico today, hosted by Des Norris, me, and this week, Tim Stannard, a.k.a. La Liga Loca, joining us for a fun look back at the weekend's games and much more. And Sergio Ramos is the man who took Andres Iniesta's last ever Clásico shirt. Iniesta signed it and wrote, "For my teammate, here's to our many moments together and others as rivals. Thank you and good luck." Stick around, we'll talk Serie A when we return. Welcome back to the locker room. Juventus had another comeback win at the weekend. Napoli were held by Torino. For Napoli to now win the title, they'd need to win the next two games, hope Juventus lose the next two, and hope for one heck of a goal swing. Matteo, how did they twice let the lead slip? Napoli.
I am so disappointed with Napoli the last 2 weeks. The last 2 weeks, we have not seen their traditional style. We've seen them in the final minutes of games giving up, shoulders slumped, looking at the ground. Against this weekend, Lorenzo Insigne, who's supposed to be one of the leaders, walking around staring at the ground the final minutes when they can still win it and still give themselves a half chance. There was no character, no personality. What we saw from Inter going down to 10 men and fighting against Juve is the opposite of what we saw from Napoli when they went down to 10 men last week against Fiorentina and got hammered in an embarrassing fashion. 3-0 against Fiore with the title on the line. This has to do with a few things. I think Maurizio Sarri, the coach, giving the players zero rotation, always picking the same starting 11.
But
apparently,
he's
fallen out with the president as well for this reason. I think he could have rotated a little bit more. There's talented players on that bench, not like Juventus, but still good players that deserve to get a little bit more time.
Do you think maybe mentally, when they saw Juventus come back from 2-1 down in the last few minutes, that did their brain in because they go one point from 6 since then?
The character is what has been missing from this Napoli side. The best footballing team in Italy for me, but didn't have the how did they say it in
the
Spain?
guts that Juve have.
You know what, Ray? They won the first half of the season. Second half of the season, absolutely not. You've seen them play with this nervousness, this anxiety, and it's taken out their style. Their style is no more.
We've used the word suffer. Suffer equals leadership and character. You guys summed it up. They don't have that.
All right, Thomas Rongan, you kept pushing Christian Vieri at the weekend on which Italian side will miss out on Champions League football. So I'm going to push you. Who misses out?
May 20th, Inter will beat Lazio. Lazio out.
Okay, Lazio out. Matteo?
I'm going to go with Inter. Inter and Milan both go to the Europa League. Lazio, Roma join Juve and Napoli in the Champions League.
Gary?
Yep, I'm going to go with Inter to go out because they will lose to Lazio. Okay. Lazio will be at home, and Inter cannot make the top 5 if they lose that make. It's a hard game.
Are you going to let both the Rome teams get it right?
No, I'm with Tommy. Eagles out.
Yep.
All right. A big weekend of great moments, but El Clásico eclipsed most of them. So here's a look at some things you may have missed in What I Loved. Let's begin with Cardiff City getting promoted. Look at these scenes. Absolutely wonderful stuff. We do love a pitch invasion.
They're going to go up, and you might find Swansea will be on the way down. Does their owner own something in the US, they were saying? He owns a part of, LAFC. He's a part owner in LAFC as well.
There you go, some
Mr.
nice
Tan.
links there with this side of the world. All right, Porto winning the title.
Hey!
Look at this. Bringing an end to the dominance over there.
And who's the goalkeeper?
Iker
Casillas walks on water. A la Madrid, a la Madrid. Fantastic. He's been all season long, and wonderful to finally take the crown away from Benfica.
Benfica. All right, Magisterial Monday continues with Monday Night Soccer. Stick around after the locker room. You'll see George and Gary giving you extended highlights of the weekend's games and analysis of the key moments too. Still to come here, our top goals. We've got some beauties. Stick around. Time for our top goals now. On the locker room, we'll start in Napoli. Ray Hudson is going for Marek Hamsik, coming off the bench to do this.
And what a footballer this lad is, absolutely. The ball bounces up, so he's got to get so much right in his dynamic. But when you see it again, the hit is powerful, but the accuracy is perfection. I wish there was done more. Look, as it bounces up, he lets it bounce like he's putting it on a golf tee, and then he brings Big Bertha out.
Thomas Trezeguet, catching passer.
Trezeguet, I love it. The Turkish league, all these veterans are coming. Oh! How often do we see the outside of the right foot Trezeguet, a golden generation of French internationals doing it in Turkey. Woo!
Mario Balotelli next for these.
Super Mario dancing in between defenders, always wants on his right, but 16th goal for him. What a form he's been in. 31 goals now in the last 2 seasons for Balotelli, but the way he just so effortlessly skips by all these defenders, and his signature shot, side-footed, finesse, top
Back to
corner.
Italy, you think?
No.
Okay.
No
One man
chance.
who's in Italy, but is a Barca baby, is yours, Gary Bailey.
This is Lee Sung-woo. That's some
Player.
strike. I haven't seen this one before. Let's have a look at it again. Ball comes
What
out.
do you mean? You were picking it all day.
And, mine
Is
just
that
a
the
great
full
volley.
volley?
Yeah, it is. Even the keeper can't get to that one. He thumps
That's the
that.
first South Korean
Great
scored
strike.
since 202 when the
Really
other South
important
Korean
goal
scored.
too, Gary. They went to
Great
the Serie B
strike,
and
eh?
lost 4-1.
Mine is Ibai Gomez for Alaves. This man only scores worldies. Look at his latest. Even the Malaga fans stood up and applauded
Pick the
him for this
good ones,
goal.
Kay Murray.
Absolutely
Ibai
gorgeous.
Gom.
I know we say it's the La
Great
Liga's
touch.
Yorkshire player. Ibai
Ibai
Gomez.
Gomez.
Ibai Gomez. Lovely stuff there. Matteo Bonetti, you're in cup action this week. Tell us more.
Yeah, Le Herbier. This is the biggest mismatch in Cup final history, I think. A third division side taking on PSG. Le Herbier, a city of 15,000 people. All 15,000 will be going to the stadium, by the way. That's how many tickets they sold. $2 million of average annual budget, enough to pay for Neymar for 16 days. That's what's going to be
And what are
going
the
up
odds?
against PSG. 100 to 1.
No.
Never, ever
By the
seen
way,
a
not a
football
tidbit.
match.
1,000 goals between Messi and Ronaldo after this weekend in all
Not bad. They're
competitions.
both-
And
both
by the way,
decent players.
LeBron's stake in Liverpool was 2%. 2 million is now 18 million. The rich get richer.
The rich do get richer. Yeah, make sure
king.
you tune in this week. We've got live football for you. That cup action for PSG against
Le
Les
Herbier.
Herbiers. Yeah, make sure you catch that one. Matteo Bonetti and Andres Cordero on the call
Phil
for
Shane.
it. Phil Shane and Matteo Bonetti on
And
the
he's
call
very
for
quiet
that
about
one.
your team that you follow, Milan.
Where's Phil Shane?
Aren't they playing Juve in the Italian Cup? You obviously don't fancy it much because you haven't said a word.
Well,
don't fancy
we'll
it. He
revisit
doesn't
that
fancy
one.
it. I
Gary,
fancy
the relegation battle in England is on fire right now.
Yes, tomorrow it's
Swansea.
Swansea hosting Southampton. The loser there is likely to go down. Huddersfield just hanging on. They've got a great point against Manchester City.
What about
so
the
they might
playoffs
just
in
be safe.
the Championship?
Yeah, just
You
wondering
fancy
who's going there.
Middlesbrough?
Middlesbrough against Kevin Egan's team, Aston Villa. So we won't be speaking for a few weeks.
Yeah, you two will be like manicurists and dentists. Tooth and nail.
Tooth and nail in this one. Yeah, it's actually, that's an interesting one there because Fulham just missed out. They'll play Derby. They just missed out because of Cardiff's game, as we just saw
Great
Cardiff
drama.
getting promoted there. Yeah, Europe in France as well is very interesting. Marseille just trying to get in there, but Monaco stealing in by getting a win finally and bringing an end to a
What if they don't
bad
make it
run.
into Europe and they don't win the Europa League? Marseille, they would have come so close. Mind you, Liverpool might
Could
still
happen
not
to
make
Liverpool
it into
too.
Europe.
It's very
Just saying.
interesting. Teams that are
Oh,
going
you
to
would see it. You
European
would see it.
final.
Liverpool not in Europe.
They
You
miss
watch.
out. I know, the Manchester United fan here. Thanks for joining us on The Locker Room. We'll see you next time.